Hey, look who's back this week.
Let me tell you something. You missed me, didn't you? Y'all missed me. Y'all missed me. Don't worry, I miss y'all too.
Oh,
Hey, let's go. We got some things to talk about, brother.
oh boy, he's back.
You're damn straight.
Recapping last week, I went solo last week. Hey, I must admit, maybe solo's pretty good for me. I went 3-0 last week. I was just, tooting my own horn there to Yves a few moments ago. So I guess we'll get Yves' comments quickly on some of these games. So I'll start quickly with Steelers-Bengals, a big AFC North game. Pretty much it was Pittsburgh wins or goes home pretty much. And the Steel Curtain gets it done one more time. As I said before, that was the game. I know my team in this case here. And as far as I know, that team plays up to competition. This is how this particular Steeler team goes. If they're playing Tampa Bay or some knucklehead team like that, I would get concerned. But when they play against the big boys, they'd be ready for prime time. Firstly, I think this is a team that I don't think you want to see in the playoffs.
I agree.
Because they've been there before, and they got, when you have three guys that are top five, arguably, in their position, that's a team you don't want to be part of.
For sure. Yeah, my thing right now is that, it was an impressive win. If the offense was humming. But again, oh my goodness, Ike Taylor is getting old before our eyes.
Look,
week in, week out. Week in, week out.
I don't know. I swear we have a podcast either last year, just as the season ended, or maybe I did it on my own. I said, why are we re-signing Ike Taylor? I swear we had the preview.
Why?
I don't understand that. I think you were jumping on Palomaro. I said, listen.
I was jumping on Palomaro.
Right, but I said the worst signing was Ike Taylor coming back. Like, why?
Yeah.
And
he oh my goodness. I mean,
he almost got tossed out the game the week before.
Yeah, man. I mean, he got killed in New Orleans. I mean, badly. And he got murdered again this week. I mean, dude, and apparently he got hurt. And Mike Tomlin basically said, we don't know if he'll be playing again.
And that's all right.
You know what I mean? So you just take your time and heal up.
Right.
We got some other guys there ready to play. But impressive win by the Steelers, though, nonetheless. Bell is a beast, man. But I'm telling you, boy, I was telling this to John, another Steelers fan. I'm starting to feel the Willie Parker syndrome for a bit for this guy because they seem to be running him, and then hopefully he can still stand up and take some of that stuff for next year.
Fine, man. Let's face it. People forget that for about a third, 2/3 to about half of the season, he's splitting duty with Blunt. Not fully. He was 60-40, right? But that's still a lot less carries than if you're 80-20, like Murray in Dallas. That's a lot less poundage. So only the last bit of the season, he's been getting more of the dose, getting more of a.
Well, they said that he's the first player since the 30s since the 60s to have run 3 consecutive weeks of 200 on total yards.
Right.
So that's impressive.
No, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
But that's what happens when in this case, you dump Blunt in this case.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can obviously see his carries go up as Blunt drop. But just a quick note on Cincinnati. Right now, I think personally, let's assume they get in, okay? As far as I'm concerned, there's 2 paper tigers in the AFC, them the Colts. I don't even know why they're showing up in the playoffs, because I already know, I'm pretty much, if I was a betting man, whoever's playing against them, unless they're playing each other, put the money down on the other team because it's a joke with Cincinnati and Indianapolis at this point.
You know what the problem is that also as well, a real big injury that happened for Cincinnati is not having Burfict, the middle linebacker, since he's been missing a lot of games for them. Yeah, I hear what you're saying with the Bengals, but man, I think that they're going to lose in the first round no matter who they play. Because it's just like last year when they lost. I think they lost to the Chargers last year in the first round. And that was an easy pick. So I think that's what's going to happen again this year.
For real. Next game I had, I went Seattle taking out Philly, late game in Philadelphia. Seattle's coming on strong. I felt this case here that, as I said, the comment I made summarizing my 3 picks were I'm picking teams that I know will be playing well in December. And notoriously do play well in December. And
this is the best time.
Cue, Seattle came through in Philly right now. The defense is still the wishy-washy. Some days they look unbelievable. Other days, I don't know how to get a read on this defense at all.
Well, I'm going to say this though. More than anything else, though, I'm gonna say your team played really good. They are peaking at the right time. The defense, oh man, they're
Well, we're
playing.
getting some men back now.
They're balling out. They're balling out. They're balling out.
We're getting the boys back.
Because like it looks like the pass rush has now come back to life, and as well, I think the player secondary, like I mean, the hitting wise is not joking around. Philly.
Good hitting weather. It's December, baby.
You know what though? I don't know what's going on. I think that maybe the thing is, I think Yves said it a couple of weeks ago. If you don't have that guy over the top, you can let Philly catch all the passes they want, and they can do all their things. Right. But if they can't go over top, they're done. And that's basically it. It looks like right now Sanchez is what Sanchez is. I'm not a real big Sanchez fan.
Right, he is what he is.
I think he's serviceable, but in certain spots, but. Man alive, man. He and Shady McCoy. What's up?
Philadelphia is their team that could be their paper tiger on the NFC side.
Yeah, man, that's what I think too.
They might get home field, but I don't know. I mean, and to your point, when you go back and look at the team in this case here about the hitting and can't go over the top, well, I had mentioned that earlier too. Is like essentially Seattle played them like how they played Denver. They dare you, please throw deep, please. We dare you to go through deep if you can, and they couldn't do it. And I think if you don't have a guy over the top, because San Francisco gets dealt with the same way. If you can't get a guy over the top in this case against Seattle's defense, it's gonna be a long day in this case, a long day. Anyhow, last game we had, night game, was pretty good for about 2.5 quarters. Then New England pulls away. Which we all thought this case would happen. San Diego made a good effort at it, but pretty much when they lost the kicker, it's pretty much going downhill.
Yeah, that was
punter, I should say.
No, first of all,
he took a lick.
Wasn't a lick, man. Holy
hard guy.
I thought I was watching Any Given Sunday,
right?
Because
the way he came down hard. The guy took him out and the ball. He spins like a top.
Right.
Drops.
And he fell on his shoulder the way he fell, but then the other great thing that happened in that game was that hit.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. That was clean. That was clean. I'm no New England fan.
What? Of course it was clean.
That was horrible.
That was all shoulder, right shoulder. On his helmet. Just because his head snapped back and he came up and he felt like a stone. Hey. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, you don't want this dude to get hurt. But even when Chris Collins, I had to replay that about 4 times on my PR. Chris Collinsworth went, oh!
Exactly. As we say in the Toll household back in the day, man, next time I teach you to catch the ball cleanly.
Yeah, but I'm telling you,
catch the ball cleanly.
Oh man, because I don't know, because like right now the NFL is really taking away they're trying to screw around with these guys. Well, like, I'd rather get a guy come up and get smoked than getting his knee taken out.
Well, when my man Harrison said so 4 years ago, everybody was jumping down his throat in this case about, it's Harrison be Harrison. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, anyhow, we'll leave it at that, man, and we'll move on from there.
Yeah, man.
So the big 3 for this week, we had to go dig and try to find 3 games that were compelling, but I think we got 3, maybe 2.5 possibly. So let's get into the one that I think it might be the half. Who knows? It might end up being the best game of the week. Pittsburgh, Atlanta. I think the last time these guys played way back when they had a tie game where Vic was playing for them. I remember that game was in Pittsburgh. It was like something like 35 apiece. And it ended up being a tie or something like that, 42 apiece or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, geez. I have way too much Pittsburgh Steelers knowledge in my head. or useless facts in my head. But Steelers, as I said before, I mentioned this to you off air, I have no concern with the Steelers when they play top teams. Games like this make me very nervous. Because Atlanta, who played decently against Green Bay, they gave a run, man. Like, they put up points against Green Bay, which makes me more concerned about Green Bay's defense as usual. I still don't know about that. But and Pittsburgh's defense is wishy-washy right now, too. So, I mean, yeah, very much so. But, but Matty Ice has never been great in the elements. So...
But this game isn't this game in Atlanta?
My apologies. Sorry, folks. Atlanta. So he's in the dome. So he actually even makes it even more dangerous.
Right. Especially if Mike Taylor's playing.
Well, yeah, true. But Pittsburgh does have something to their advantage, though. I think they actually might be the faster team on its turf.
Most definitely. I think so. I think
that plays into their favor. Because, I think Pittsburgh's going to put up some numbers in this game big time. So I think I like the game being a similar game to Green Bay Atlanta. I think it's going to be something like a 42-35 game or some crazy thing. But I like Pittsburgh.
Likewise, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game because both defenses are not that good.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh just has a little bit more tricks up their sleeves. But
They just got more playmakers.
They do, and offensively they do. And also there's a chance. I highly doubt that Julio Jones is going to miss that game. Yeah. But how about Pittsburgh just do a double team on the dude? Have a corner on him and a safety on him, because that game in Green Bay, he was single covered the whole entire game, and I never understood that.
I don't get that one bit.
Yeah, I don't get that one bit. But nonetheless, I do have Pittsburgh winning in a shootout. I think it's going to be a shootout game.
Cool. Game number 2, rematch from Thanksgiving Day, Philadelphia, Dallas. It's the 8:30 game, the Sunday night game. I might play reverse psychologist. I picked Dallas in the Thanksgiving Day game. I didn't feel good about it, but I think I picked them that game. Philadelphia ends up blowing them out. So I'm going the opposite. I'm going completely opposite. I'm taking Dallas. I think this time around they're going to get more discipline, run the ball. I didn't see all that game, obviously, because I was at work, so I didn't get to see all of it. But by the time I got home, the damage had been done. I don't know if they're going to get blown out like that again. I say Romo and those guys get it done in Philadelphia.
I have a thing, when you get blown out like that, and Philadelphia came up and really put the hammer down to Dallas.
Twice in 3 weeks?
Hey, man.
Listen,
they say it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a year. 2 times normally kind of does something, and I just have this really bad feeling that the Cowboys are starting to revert back to what them to be.
It is December.
I just have this feeling. I just really do. So it would not surprise me if Philly lays the wood to them. I'm not a big Philly fan either, but I just think that the defense, the Cowboys' defense, is really not that hot, and I think that right now, as much as I like the way that the offense does hum at times, but they hit.
Dallas doesn't like seeing the Christmas carols start popping out because they know that's trouble for them, so they don't like hearing them.
That's my feeling on that one. I just think Philly's going to win.
All right. Okay, and last game, AFC West rivals Denver and San Diego. And this one here, I believe, is in San Diego. Mm-hmm. You know what? I like San Diego in this game for 2 reasons. One, I think they get the bounce back game. They're desperate for the win, and they're at home. So those are the 3 reasons. But the last reason is that San Diego always seems to have a Peyton Manning's number. I don't know what it is. They seem to be in the huddle when he's about to throw the ball. I don't know. So what's my boy's name is always pick him off all the time.
That's right. Oh, Cromartie. Cromartie gets to play for them.
Right.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know what it is, but I got sneaking suspicion San Diego's gonna come up with the W. I haven't picked Denver all year actually, so I think I've only won one time since not picking Denver all year.
Well, I'm gonna still choose. I'm gonna still as much as I want to pick San Diego because San Diego is my team in the AFC. I'm actually going to go with Denver. The reason being, I actually think that Denver has something this year that's actually been impressive for the last couple of weeks. Is a running game, a real justifiable running game, and the offensive line has been playing really good. You want to know who's not been playing really good though for the last couple of weeks? Mr. Peyton Manning.
I was about to say exactly. It's getting cold outside,
Must be getting cold outside because that game that he had against Buffalo. Ooh. I know everybody's due for a dud every now and then, but God, he didn't play good at all. It was
as you said before, last few weeks he's looked very normal.
Last few weeks, and I think that's starting to catch up.
Even Buffalo game, he didn't look great for most of it.
No, he did not. He did not look good at all. Remember,
sometimes in this case, Father Time just finds you, and you don't know when it happens. It just happens. Also, it's like, I think people are now realizing that with Drew Brees, which we were saying for a little while.
You can see,
when you see the game start getting more inconsistent. Inexplicable reads where he's just completely incorrect. That's his age, man. It just happens sometimes, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now.
I watched that Buffalo game. I saw the dead ducks flying all over the place, man.
He got his receivers killed. Did you see how many licks that his safety his wide receivers were taking just because the safeties were just like, okay,
is Thomas gonna play this game or he is gonna sit out one more game just in case?
Wow, I don't know, man. So that's my thing. That's my thing right now. Is like I'm gonna still choose Denver because I think that Denver has a bit of a good running game going on. But I think that if Manning allows himself to actually play within the scope of the offense with him feeling he doesn't have to throw the ball every single second, they should win this game.
All right. So give me Pittsburgh, Dallas, San Diego, and Yves is going with Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Denver. So
That's
see how it
correct.
all plays out. Topic of the week: what's wrong with Cap? So, Colin Kaepernick, and I think this discussion is it's a bigger discussion, but let's keep let's keep with Kaepernick and let's talk about what's going on with him in his head. I'll let you get your point out first here, man. I'll come with a different angle than you.
I'm only going. Okay, for me, I'm only going by football. What I see.
Right.
Now, let's again go with when Alex Smith was the quarterback and everything of the sort, and we had the boy on the bench. He was a nice little fancy toy. Could throw a ball down the field. Can run like a gazelle. Can do so much. So awesome. Everything that Alex Smith couldn't do, this kid could do. Okay, so they got rid of Alex Smith. They gave this kid the thing. They gave him the rock. The kid was good. The kid did his thing, ran the ball, threw the ball, everything of the sort. But the NFL is a very rough league. Again, when they got tape on you, then they're going to come and take away the things that you do very well. That read option stuff. Now, I think part of it is that part of the problem with San Francisco is that they tried to change the whole scope of the offense for this dynamic game, right? Instead of being what they should, the kid should not be the focal point of the offense.
Now things get interesting. Okay,
the kid shouldn't be the focal point of the offense. He should be enhancing the offense, but he shouldn't be the focal point. The focal point should be your running game and your offensive line. And then all of a sudden now, they've stopped doing that. They've stopped throwing the ball to Vernon Davis, which I never fully understood. How come when Kaepernick's in there, they never throw the ball to Davis, which is beyond me. They only seem to have one They seem to have one good wide receiver, which is Anquan Bolden. Then because they don't throw to Crabtree, and Crabtree's always hurt. They have other receivers, and you've seen this year, and you've even seen it last year too. Kaepernick has only one speed. He has one speed when he throws the ball. It's a fastball. You don't got touch. I'm sorry, I don't think he has touch, and I think it's starting to become a problem because when guys need to be open and when he should be leading guys, he's terrible on third down conversion, just terrible. And I see football, and football in me tells me that you can see this clearly. He's not improving as a quarterback.
All right, that's it. Okay, now I will pick up from where you left off in this case here because I think this is where the real issue is. Now I'm being consistent, folks. Remember, I say this. Why I say this? I said this with another quarterback earlier on this year, the discussion I had a few weeks ago. In this case here, we have situations in this case, this one's been quiet nonetheless, but when media and pundits in this case put it on the quarterback as, the quarterback all of a sudden just got horrible. Well, how did he get so horrible all of a sudden? What happened? He was the same guy before. Why is that the case? Oh, I get it. In this case, you have a coaching staff in this case that probably got in the kid's head. Because when you start messing around with athletes in this case, especially quarterbacks, you start messing around with them in this case, mixing up philosophies in this case, and going away from what their strength is. I said this with another quarterback. I'm not naming his name. But again, same thing is happening again here.
I don't know if it is, Brian.
Same thing is happening here. Because here's why I'm going to come back to the point you just mentioned. When last season started, Jim Harbaugh decided in this case, he's Jim or John, I know you lose track which one.
Cheers.
Harbaugh decided in this case here, because Clay Matthews was talking a bunch of smack about how they're gonna put the win on Kaepernick in the first game of the season after Kaepernick just ran all over them in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Dude, you do what you do best. You don't start changing up and running scared. Oh Lord, they're gonna hit my quarterback. It's called football, folks. It ain't curling. It's called football. They're gonna hit him anyways.
Hey man, you get hurt in curling too. Don't lie.
Yeah, fair enough. Hurry hard. The point is that do what you do best. That's your personality. Run the ball. Use your pistol offense. And you know what? Till Clay Matthews can catch Kaepernick to hit him, you keep doing what you do. But no, not Harbaugh. He decides he's going to go and rebuild and revamp the whole offense then to become this pocket passer like we're watching Dan Marino circa 1984. Give me a break. This is the part in this case that gets me vexed with these media guys. I'm so glad in this case, I can't believe it actually came from Trent Dilfer, who I can't believe. I don't know, he's got like he's got any sort of gray matter in between his ears, but he actually said something for once that I actually agree with, said this makes sense. Put it right back where it needs to be placed. sitting on the fat, steaming pile of crap right there on Harbaugh and that coaching staff. He's got 5 billion coaches out there, and not one of them seems like he could actually coach the kid to get the work to the strengths. You got him sitting back there looking for like all these certain reads. He's not that. You've explained that. So why are we making it more difficult than it has to be? Same thing with RG3. Why are you guys changing things when it doesn't need to be changed? I'm going with the old Piston philosophy. Run it till it's broke until someone stops you. Okay?
Wow, then you won't have a quarterback.
That's fine. But run it till it's broke. You know what?
We'll have a quarterback.
He ain't out there knitting. It's called football. So
I hear you, Brian.
Run it till it can't stop.
But Brian, here's the thing, though.
Hold on. Let me finish my point with this. The one team that was running the pistol that has not stopped doing so, ironically, is guess who?
Yeah, but Brian,
the champs.
I hear you. Here's the thing. Okay, while agreeing with that, the fact about it is, while agreeing with that aspect that Seattle's still doing their thing, they have a competent quarterback who does not take a lot of licks.
But Kaepernick never used to take a lot of licks either.
The problem is, though, Kaepernick don't make good reads.
Well, fair enough, he doesn't make good reads, but he's way more effective. He's playing the pistol making those reads than he's sitting back there trying to pick out receivers. That don't make no damn sense.
But the other aspect of it is, in front of me, to be honest with you, number one, San Francisco had, because I've been watching them a little bit this year too, injuries on the offensive line has been one cause. Secondly, Frank Gore is now Frank Gore, old man Frank Gore.
Right.
But I think personally, that's part of the problem too. The other thing about it, listen, Kaepernick got big paid money. Now, even though it is a cap-friendly contract that they gave him, like some kind of ridiculous 10-year contract that he got, when they have a lot of opt-outs. Remember, they can cut him, I think, next year. They can cut him next year if the performance isn't really that good. So it's a real cap-friendly, so the numbers are really not really real numbers as we think about it.
Yeah,
but
that's all the case with all these football, with all these contracts. But I don't think we're in the mode where we're cutting. At least I don't think so.
I'm not saying to cut him. I'm not going to say that.
Let's slow it.
But I just personally think that this case here, number one, that Harbaugh situation, no matter what anybody tells me, is really messing up that team. That's one. It's a distraction. It's been a distraction all year. Two, Kaepernick, I just think he's just regressed.
Because they pulled away from his strengths. We've seen this time and time again. And you know what's another thing I'm seeing more and more is when you have these type of quarterbacks in this case, even Seattle to some extent, I don't know because in this case they're multi-threat quarterbacks, whatever the case may be, but for some reason, these guys seem to get less talent to play with.
True.
I don't get this.
Yeah, they start peeling away,
players. If you look at the receiving core for the most part, for even Washington, from the year when they went to the playoffs to now, true, Deshaun Jackson was an upgrade to some extent, but my goodness, man, like really, I mean Seattle Seattle. Man. Fine, you get rid of Harvey, and what we have, we're dealing with Doug Baldwin as our number one receiver.
That's a scary thought for me because watching Seattle, to me, it's like if the defense doesn't play really well,
right.
Then
look at the talent in this case of Peyton Manning, who's a Hall of Fame first ballot, and they get two Thomases already on there, and it's like, we'll bring Wes Welker in.
Yeah. But then the thing about they bring Wes Welker, but look who's taking over. Sanders is now the number 2.
That's my point, and they brought Sanders in afterwards the year after. They went and added more talent.
Yeah, that's my point.
These guys, Cam Newton gets less and less talent each year. You see the same thing with RG3 to a lesser extent. I just mentioned with Wilson. Here's Kaepernick, same thing. Right now, I think you and I can outrun the receiving core right now.
Well, I don't know about that part for me.
Dude, that receiving core is brutal for speed. All you got to just play him 15 yards and in.
The thing about my thing is that for San Francisco, they have some good receivers.
But they're all possession receivers.
I watched a lot of their games. My personal opinion is I think that Kaepernick don't get them the ball where it needs to be.
Here's the thing. This is why I talk about playing to your strengths and knowing your personnel. Okay? So, when you look at the team they have here, right? You have Bolden. You have, of course, Davis. Crabtree. Okay?
You have Davis there.
Davis. Now, Davis is a little long in the tooth, too. So, now when you look at this team here, and you look at because he's taking a lot of licks over the years,
Lloyd.
too.
You got Lloyd there.
Right.
You got the boy that plays for Buffalo.
Is anyone in this case here right? He's probably the best option for a speed option going down the field. Mm-hmm. When you look at it, these dudes don't get separation. So when you have a quarterback in this case is not as accurate to your point, now you gotta make a hole this small here to make the ball put the ball in play because you don't have guys that get that much separation. How many times you watch San Francisco play? The receivers are literally the DBs are hanging off of them. That's the reason why Sherman can always pick them off because he just jumped the route. Because in this case he knows the guys can't beat him on speed. He can just sit there and just hover, just wait for it, and that means your quarterback has to make the perfect throw. The perfect throw. And to your point, Kaepernick's reads as well too. It all plays into the same thing. When you got to adjust the personnel to some extent, and the pistol at least used to give you a freedom of a threat. So therefore, it used to slow down the pass rush a little bit to give him time. Now, if you're just having him drop back like a statue, well, heck, what do you think's gonna happen? And you just have a quick release. These are all things, Anyway, to your point, man, go ahead, man. I said my piece on it, man.
Well, I mean, as I said before, I think there's a lot of things going on this year with the 49ers. I think that Mr. Harbaugh is gone. I personally think that the offensive staff really failed this year. I think it's
How
been
many coaches does he have?
Hey, listen. Well, the the San Francisco defensive coordinator might be the head coach of the team. Who knows? But he's okay. He's okay. It's
I heard Harbaugh's like a quarterback for everybody. A quarterback to flip pancakes, a quarterback to go and run drills, a quarterback to do suicides. He's got a quarterback for a coach for everything.
I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I think Harbaugh's personality just basically started to go off on, when you start getting into a pissing match with the GM, but it's going to be on the GM too, because I think personally the GM, I think this is a front office issue that's really filtered down to the players.
Yeah, I mean, when you're San Francisco and you haven't gotten over the hump, you can't stay pat and assume that your team is going to be there. There's a reason why you haven't gotten over the hump.
Hey, think about it. Remember, he replaced Michael Singletary, and Mike Singletary. Remember when Mike Singletary was there, the team was garbage. But the thing is, when the minute Harbaugh got there, he changed the culture, and it was still the same players.
No, I agree with that. I'm not knocking Harbaugh can't coach. In this case, I've always said this about Harbaugh. He can coach, but in this case, I think he's a guy who believes his own hype a little too much.
No, he wears on people.
Yeah.
You got to win in the league.
You got to show me something.
Bring me a Super Bowl. Bring me a Lombardi thing. Then you can act the way.
I just think the media's played into it so much that they just elevated him way past where he should.
Yeah, man. That's the thing. You can be a jerk like Bill Belichick, but you know what Bill Belichick will always tell you? Look what I got behind me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
3
so,
rings.
That's all you have to do.
I cheated on 3 of them, but hey, I still got 3 rings.
Yeah, the fact about it is that you can't be a jerk unless you can be a jerk when you win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The thing that makes me laugh is this guy gets more props than his brother. His
brother's the better coach.
His
brother won something.
Anyhow, we'll move on, man. San Francisco, never dull. It's Fantasy Insider time. Yves is back. Who you have for us? He gave us some interesting picks last week, man. So who you have for us this week?
All right, because we know that the majority of fantasy right now, it is playoff time. Mm-hmm. So semifinals, might be some semifinals for some of y'all. So the ones that I got for you, I got one here, Mr. Andre Williams, who plays for my New York Giants, who are not having a very good season.
Well, you're milking those Giants, aren't you, man?
Damn straight. Got no choice, guy. Got no choice, man. I gotta hold on to something. Because at least we got. It looks like we got some playmakers on the offense. Mm-hmm. Thank the Lord. So the thing about it is, right now, Mr. Andre Williams. Okay, got him. I know that Rashad Jennings. We don't know if he'll be playing, but if Mr.
That Rashad, huh?
Oh, hey man. I mean, Rashad's good when he's playing, but he's hurt all the time. Right. So Williams played really good last week, and I think that momentum will carry him through again against they're facing Washington, and Washington got nothing to play for. It's a great time to come up and actually run.
RG3 back this week?
I personally do not care. I personally do not care.
I'm just curious. Is it Kirk Cousins? I think is it somewhere in some attic somewhere.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins ain't playing. Colt McCoy ain't. I don't know.
Wow,
that's just a whole other topic in itself.
Listen, if you go back to RG3, he really must dislike Kirk Cousins. Okay.
He don't even mention Kirk Cousins anymore. He don't even mention his name, guy. So yeah, that coach is probably one and done too. I think that's a real interesting situation. But anyway, Andre Williams back to the New York Giants. I have him 20 carries, 120 yards, 2 TDs against the Washington Redskins. My next one, because the game that we're talking about, big game for the Steelers and the Falcons.
Right.
Based upon what I saw on was that Monday night? Mm-hmm. That Monday night game. I got Big Ben. 35 for 45 for 375 and 4 TDs against the pathetic Atlanta defense, who is just horrific too.
Well, if he has a big week like that, man, he'd be on pace for 5,000 yards this season.
Yeah, he's gonna throw some big yards. Look what he's been doing for the last
almost like 4,000 right now, man.
Yeah, man, he's throwing some big yardage, man. They've been throwing some big yards. My last one is your boy, Mr. Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode.
Beast Mode.
I think he's gonna do his thing. I think that, you know what, he's saying, you know, I saw him actually do an interview last week with Michael Robinson on the NFL Report to actually hear him talk and basically give his feelings on why he don't talk to the media.
Yeah, I think I saw some of that too. You know,
Yeah, man.
like,
I gotta be honest with you. I think it's really stupid to try to force these guys to talk when that's not part of their thing. Because listen, they're paid to play football. They're not paid to.
Really, what's Marshawn Lynch gonna say?
What's he gonna say?
Like,
Come on, man. Like really, like what are you trying to get out of him? I really don't understand. What is it that you want to get out of him? Some of the questions are real stupid anyway.
Of course.
What are you gonna ask him about? What does he think about the United States torturing, the CIA doing stuff to people? You think he's gonna come up and talk to you what's going on in Afghanistan? Like, come on, like what is it? Like I really don't understand. You ask him foreign policy questions about the election? Like what the hell? Like come on. Anyway,
no boss.
You just do what you do, boss. You know,
boss.
you just do you. So you do you. There's 22 carries. I got him for 145 yards, 1 TD, and also because he seems to be the best wide receiver on that receiving core.
It's pretty.
I got him for 6 catches for 45 yards for 1 TD. So
he's the only dude that if I see catch the ball, I feel like you can take it to the house, man. Everybody
single
else,
time.
I'm like, oh, brother.
Every single time. And the thing is, and the thing about it is, his like, see, that's the issue again with Seattle because they don't have a real wide receiving threat. It feels gimmicky every time that he has to get the ball because they throw the ball halfway across the field to him for him to get a touchdown, to him to be effective. It's kind of weird, but anyway, he's gonna have a big game because it's San Fran, and he don't like San Fran either.
Mm-mm. Yeah, when you could bury San Francisco once and for all.
Oh yeah, put the shovel in.
He's gonna put the wood to them, man.
Yeah, put the wood to him, man.
All right, man. So where can the good folks find you, Yves, on Twitter?
Good folks can find me at Wise Charlem.
All right, and you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short form RM. Once again, subscribe above, comments below, man. Any closing words?
Well, just remember everything. Again, this is just my personal opinion. I like many. Hey, I can't breathe. So you know what I mean. So we're talking this stuff that's happening. People, we gotta love each other. Also understand we are human beings, every color, every race.
Okay. Now on that note, man, we'll call it a night. Take care, man. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.
And bang.